Okay, so I'm just going to kind of recap what we went over on Wednesday, and I'm using a screencast now, which should hopefully work better than application sharing. So, for starters, everyone should have a Jostens account. If you don't, make sure you talk to Mr. Wood right away. To get into your Jostens account, use the number 12135, and then your first initial followed by your last name, and the password is student1. And that should get you into Jostens. Once inside Jostens, you can go to the Plan tab and Page Ladder, and here you will be able to see all of the spreads that we're going to be doing and who is assigned to those. So, for example, we have the prom spread, and that's assigned to Kyler. So you can go along here and find your spreads. If you want to, you can narrow it by staff so you can find yourself. So it's relatively simple to make a template. We set the deadline for the template on December 5th. So when you're done with the template, you should have a screen similar to this one, but with no wording yet, just have like headline text in there. So if you go over to the Design tab on the right, you can choose different designs, and actually when I first went in here, I thought that this was all there was, and then I realized this tab has all of these different yearbooks that you can do, so definitely go through there and check out some of these other different templates. And these templates, you don't have to use one of these. You can choose one and then adjust it, which is what I did with this one here, or you can make a template like this entirely from scratch if you have that time and are really interested in doing that. That's also an option. So once you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, then you want to make sure you have certain elements together in your template, and these elements are not always included in the design template, which is an important note. So one thing always have is a main photo, and that one's this one here. It should be 2 times the size of any other photo in the rest of your spread. There should be an eyeline. On this template, there's an eyeline along the bottom and along the top. There could also be one here in the middle going across if this photo and text were moved up. And that way it would make more of a streamlined eyeline there. There should never be any trapped white space. So white space is anything that basically doesn't have text or images in it. So right here under this text block is a bit of white space, and right now this is okay because it has a way out right up through here and along this line. It's not trapped in there. If this picture were down like this and over like this, then this space would be trapped and it doesn't have a way out. But with this moved over like that and this up here, then that white space has a way to get out. You don't really want a lot of white space in your spread. For obvious reasons, you want to fill it in with pictures and text. But if you do have a bit of white space, make sure it isn't trapped. Okay, and then your page should also have a headline, which I have over here. And you can format the headline into font and size using the Format tab here. And this Format tab will also let you edit coloring, text boxes, things like that. So we're going to be assigning colors to each section of spreads, so you'll know which ones you're doing. Right now I have this one themed in the spicy salsa red, and that just means that's kind of the main color I'm going here. I used some of the transparency options to kind of make it more varied. Then you also want secondary headlines, so that's here I made kind of a description of what the page is going to be, and then there's little headlines where they describe the photos, and those you don't really need to put in yet because we don't have photos yet. So that's going to wait until after winter break. You're also going to want to make sure you have plenty of space for secondary photos, and that's basically any photo besides your main photo. And you don't want to really cram your page too full of photos, but make sure you have enough room for all the photos you're going to get. Most pages will range about 15 to 20 photos depending on the topic of the page. For example, the pets page usually gets a lot of pictures, while sports page doesn't get as many. Just be ready for enough pictures coming in and have like a backup plan if you don't get a lot. That is basically all there is to making a template. The rest of it is up to creativity, how you want it to look. Again, it doesn't have to look like my spread. This is just an idea I had based off of one of the templates under design. So however else you want to make it is up to you. Just make sure that your spread includes a main photo, an eyeline, secondary photos, no trapped white space, and a headline.